Hey y'all, my name is Nat. I hope you're having a terrific day today, and for this video we are going to be doing a walkthrough of my new bullet and reading journal. So yes, this is the journal I have been using for the past 8 months, actually. It went from October of 2021 to June of 2022. My goal is that this time around, this will just last this ending 6 months. I guess I just need to get a little bit better about journaling every single day in order to work through it. Not really sure what's on the cover. I'll have to deal with that later. So yes, if you watch my walkthrough for the last 6 months of this one, you were given the opportunity to help me figure out which journal to use next. And obviously this teal one ended up winning. I guess that kind of makes sense since I do think I got both of these as a pair. Pretty certain for this one. I just bought it from Target. It is fairly thin. It is simple lined pages, but there is a ribbon bookmark. If you're new here, I used to do a plan with me layout, but I actually ended up really enjoying the walkthrough process. So I am going to change this up. I've already filled in and prepped everything in this one. So I'm going to walk you through my last spreads in this previous journal, and then we will hop into this one. So moving you out of the way for now. Starting in this last little section is for all of my travel spreads. First up is this envelope where I have just some luggage tags and boarding passes, a few extra pieces of information and additional papers that I couldn't fit anywhere else. But then I had a sticker which signified to the people at the airport whenever we landed that we were a part of that group. And then I have a little ticket stub from the Archaeological Site Museum in Mycenae. Prior to going to Mycenae, however, we actually passed by the Isthmus Canal in Corinth. We had a little stop there, so I took the time to go buy this postcard because it was absolutely beautiful. The canal actually had this legend connected to it that anybody who tried to build on it in ancient times would end up dying because of the 3 big name emperors who worked on it. 2 of them were assassinated and 1 killed himself. Next up is a ticket stub from Epidaurus, and here we saw a giant ancient theater to Dionysus, also incredibly cool. Then the next day we went to Delphi from the Oracle of Delphi, so had a little ticket stub to go with that. Trying to remember what this ticket stub is. Oh, this was a ticket stub for the Archaeological Museum in Athens. This was on our free day, so my parents, Josh and I, just went and did this ourselves. Highly recommend, however. It is so cool. There are so many interesting pieces from history. There's so much art. It was beautiful. And then we have this one, which was a ticket from the Acropolis. Also magnificent. Cannot believe I actually went there. It was so awesome. And then I have a postcard which I bought from the Acropolis Museum, also filled with art, these different statues and things that they found. This one was actually a piece of Athena, since she's one of my favorite gods. Of course, I had to grab it. And then this is a little Polaroid that I took at the Parthenon. Continuing on down, here is a ticket stub from when we went to Poseidon's temple. That's why I have the little dolphin. I felt like it matched very well. Oh, actually, this is on the wrong page. This should be over here, I think. Anyway, so this is actually a postcard for Poseidon's temple. Josh had a different one. Thankfully, I was pretty good about going through and finding or holding on to little things to tape into my journal to remember everything. This was a Polaroid that I took at the top of Santorini. Very cool, very high up. Very hot, lots of stairs. So this is where the little pamphlet belongs. On this day, we went to Santorini. Josh and I took a boat ride to a neighboring island, and we actually did a hike up a mountain and then got to see a active volcanic crater. It was very cool. You could literally see the smoke going off. It was crazy. And then this is a postcard from ancient Olympia. I believe that was in Katakolan. Unfortunately, this one didn't get taped in, so it's kind of just placed here. And then this was my ticket stub for the cable car ride that you had to go on to go into actual Santorini in the city. You could walk it, but there were also lots of donkeys, and we were told that donkeys get first priority. Okay, so clearly I did a very poor job of organizing this because actually this postcard comes over here. This is the ticket stub from the UNESCO site where we went to go see the ruins of Olympia. Fascinating, so cool. There was a temple of Zeus there. There was a temple of Hera. There was a place where they actually used to have the Olympic Games. So crazy. Literally the entire time, just you're walking through a historical site. It's insane. Next up was Corfu, which had some of the most beautiful water I have ever seen. On this trip, we actually went to a monastery, but I honestly kind of would have just been happy going to the beach. Obviously, this section is X'd out because I basically spent so much time between these two entries that I completely forgot what I had written, even though right here I say Corfu, and as you can see, it's not like this was hard to tell it was there. Yeah, I was tired. Oh Lord, okay, so this is a postcard from Montenegro, and this road is called the Serpentine. We actually went up this in a bus, in a tour bus. There are 25 of them. It was a very anxiety-inducing ride. However, we also had some really delicious cheese. I had some great wine. Josh got to try the local aperitif, which is a sherry. I think it's a sherry, maybe a brandy, but it is made up of 50% alcohol. Crap was so strong. The next day we were in Dubrovnik, Croatia, so this is my ticket. Josh and I actually did a tour walk of the city walls. Also very hot, definitely demanding, tons of stairs, but it was so cool. There were actually multiple different points throughout that wall that were utilized as scenes in Game of Thrones. I'm not a Game of Thrones fan, but apparently that's a big draw for the area. The following day we were still in Croatia, however, we were in Kadar, and specifically my group actually went to a national park of Krka, so this is my ticket stub from it, and then this is the waterfall we got to see. Actually got to see this in person. It was gorgeous, so beautiful. Unfortunately, this is probably the worst excursion we went on just because we blasted through the entire park in no time. I think we were maybe there for 2 hours tops, and I would have been happy to spend a full 6 hours there. Okay, so we are nearing the end. This was our second to last stop in Slovenia, and we actually got to go to the Postojnask cave and park. So this is actually a castle which is built within the cave. Crazy, y'all. It was insane. The different ways they would utilize the cave to their benefit, fascinating. On the opposite side, this is actually the cave that we went and walked through. You had to take a train ride down into the cave. That's how big it was. Dark, chilly. I think it was about 85 degrees Fahrenheit outside. When we got into the cave, it was 50 degrees. And then I wrote a little bit over here about how we went to a club that was on the boat and went dancing, so got a appropriate sticker. This last little section is for when we were in Venice. So I had to grab a postcard from Libreria Acqua Alta, since that is one of the most famous bookstores in the world, and they had 2 book cats. I didn't pet them because I didn't want my allergies to go crazy, but Josh was having the time of his life with them. I think that might be the final little, oh no, okay, so over here I had 2 stickers. One was mine, one was Josh's, for this night walk that we did through the Basilica and the Doge's Palace in St. Mark's Square in Venice. It was really cool. Like I said, we went at night, so the traffic was a lot better. Unfortunately, these 2 pages stuck together, so when I went to put these down, they got put 1 extra page over, so there's nothing here because I didn't have anything else to write. And then finally is my June wrap up, and I believe that should already be posted. Can I just say I'm so impressed with myself that I still read this much while I was on vacation. Granted, this and this are novellas. This one was pretty short, but overall that's still really impressive. I didn't do the best with my goals, however, so that's a shame. But on that note, this is officially the end of this journal. She is a chunky girl. This is going to be going on my bookshelf with all of the rest of my finished journals, so say goodbye to her. You probably won't be seeing her until I do another bookshelf tour. On to this next one. Like I said, this one was the one to win the poll. It says, she led a life of endless possibilities, and it has this cute little starting page, a quote which states, I look forward to holding any thoughts, dreams, goals, brilliant ideas, and amazing moments because you got this. Obviously it's from the Danya Lee collection. I'm fairly certain my mom or I bought this at Target, maybe Hallmark, I don't really remember. Have a little bit here to say who this belongs to, my phone number in case I ever lose it, since I do tend to carry my journal with me everywhere. And then I have a flip out page for grid spacing. I saw Elizabeth at the Plant-Based Bride do this and I thought it was ingenious, so I had to utilize it. Obviously, this is a continuation of 2022. I didn't know what else to put here. Also, my 2022 looks janky as hell, but we're gonna ignore that. Then I had a quote here that says, this is only the beginning for you, because obviously this is the beginning of this journal. I had a restatement of my reading goals. Obviously, not at 100 books anymore. I'm currently at 61 books read for the year, so I need to read 39 books to hit my goal of 100. Then I actually put in little spots for me every time I complete one of these repeating goals. So one book over 450 pages a month. Honestly, don't think that's gonna happen in July. Oh well. Nonfiction book, comic book. As I mentioned in my mid-year stats video, I do need to get better about reading BIPOC stories. I'm still doing pretty well at limiting TBRs. You wouldn't know that looking at my July TBR, but I've been doing pretty well at it. And attending live shows. I just attended one. Finally, I'm doing it. Obviously, haven't read any books yet, so I can't fill in my favorites, but this will definitely make it easier for when I'm trying to figure out what was my best book of the year. I have this one and then the other in my previous journal, so I can kind of utilize those to figure out my top 10. Next up is my bookshelf spread. Usually I utilize washi tape to do this, but I just wasn't really feeling it this time. I wanted to change it, so I did it in pen myself. Obviously, I'm sticking with the same color combo to figure out what my rating was, and that's how I'm going to color the book. On this side is a in versus out. This one was really janky in my previous, but basically it's how many books I buy every month and then how many of those I actually read. The goal is to have a positive number, meaning I read more than I haul. We'll see if that actually works out. On to the next page is series. This was a lot longer in my previous one, but I realized seeing so many series that I was in the middle of kind of stressed me out. So I decided to only put down the ones that I'm hoping to start prioritizing. So obviously Sunshine Bikram was on my 10 books I want to get read in 2022 list. It is not out yet, which is why there's this little X, but I'm very excited for it. I own the second book in A Good Girl's Guide to Murder. Need to read that. The third book in the Well Met series I was hoping I'd read in June, but that didn't happen. And then, like I said, just some others that I'm really excited for and others that I really want to prioritize. So this looks way more manageable to me than having all of this and a little bit of this filled. Makes me feel better about myself. Next up is a new page that I have not done before, and that's my arcs. I am very bad about checking these dates on NetGalley, so I thought if I had a place to keep track of them in my journal, maybe I'd be better about remembering them. So a little peek into some of the arcs I have already received, and will probably be reading 4 arc reading vlogs coming out later this year. And so finally, we are hopping into my July spreads. As you can see on the previous pages, I kind of went with like a blue and green color scheme, very similar to what I did with June. Those colors were a bit on the colder side, but since we are now officially into summer, I figured let's do like some warm colors to change that up. So I went with some yellows and pinks. I didn't really want to draw anything, so I just utilized a lot of stickers, a lot of washi tape. My quote page is "There's always something too good to read," and this came from Book Lovers by Emily Henry. That book had so many quotes that just talked about the love of books and stories, and I had to utilize one here. Then I have my little calendar spread as normal. It's actually pretty blank, surprisingly. And then for my reading plan, my July TBR will already be out, so I'll put a link to that in the cards up above. There are actually a few extra books on here than there were in my TBR. Those are just possibilities. I don't know if they're actually gonna happen. We'll see. We're gonna stay positive. Next up is my favorite lines. Continuing with the summery theme, I have like the few different drink stickers I had. So I got a rosé, some boba, and a mojito, I think. I don't know why I put the cherries there. I already regret it. First line I already have in here is "Gratitude is an excellent emotion, but it's not a shield that holds off bullshit indefinitely." This is from The Fixer Upper by Lauren Forsyth, which I'm currently in the middle of. Then we have my brain dump, because I just have a feeling I'm gonna need this month. I'm not sure, but I think this is gonna get a lot of use. And then on the opposite side is my pages read spread, and I actually really liked that I put this sticker here because it says "Did something good today." If I fill in something on this page, then I did something good. Then we have my wrap up, obviously. Blank. Haven't finished a book yet. I'm not that impressive. And then on this side, I officially broke down my wrap up and statistics into 2 separate pages because my stats just always felt really cramped at the bottom. So this gives me a little bit extra room. This side is a new one for me. Not a new spread, however. I've seen lots of people do these favorite spreads as something that is nice to look back on. I never really did them, but I thought it might be interesting to try out. So I have a spot for my favorite movie of the month. Honestly, it's probably gonna be Thor: Love and Thunder, but I'm not sure yet. TV show, book, song, and meal. And then this part I left a little bit blank so I can fill in anything about my favorite moment of the month. Then we are jumping into officially filling in some journal entries. I have so much room. It's weird to be in a new journal, but I'm very excited about it. Pop this ribbon right over here. That is it. This is the new journal. I'm so excited. Thank you guys for voting in the previous video. I really appreciate it. And also thank you so much for coming to my channel. I really appreciate it. Make sure to hit like and subscribe down below. I have all my socials linked in the description if you're interested in keeping up with what I am reading. I come out with videos on Monday and Friday, but until then, I hope you continue to have a terrific day. Love you, bye!